Good morning guys, welcome to today's video. We've got some time today to work on the R33, so we're going to tackle some of the key jobs underneath the car and get them sorted hopefully today, because we want to get the car off axle stands as soon as possible ideally. I'll show you why when we get out the car, why I want to get it off axle stands so quickly. And yeah, we're going to tackle, I think, treating the remainder of the underneath the car. We've done a lot of it already, but there's a bit left to do. We've also had to run some new fuel lines. I'll explain all that when we get outside the car as well, but I just thought it was better to film this intro inside without any wind noise. So yeah, fuel lines, treat the underneath the car, and then we've also done some other jobs off camera, so I'll go around and show you those as well. But yeah guys, let's try and get as much done as possible today and get that a little bit closer to getting it on all four wheels and then eventually back on the road.
Right guys, you can probably tell already the reason why I went up axle stands, but as you can see the axle stands are starting to sink into the bloody drive. I don't know why. Obviously it's been on the axle stands for a while, so whether it's just over time, that's what happens. In the UK we have had some hot weather this year, so whether that's been a factor, I don't know. But yeah, it's quite bad there. The axle stand was here originally before we had the welder in to come and put the seals in, so there's marks left there, and I'm sure it's happening down the bottom as well. So yeah, that's the reason why we want to speed up everything that we need to get done under the car. But yeah, also moving on to the jobs off camera. The windscreen, when we bought it, it was obviously listed when we bought the car. It had a huge crack down the middle. So something else that would have stopped us from getting it back on the road. So since the last video, we've had a new windscreen put in, and then the fuel lines was what I was going to explain as well. So another issue that we had when we bought the 33, the previous owner had put it into storage because of a fuel leak, and he wasn't sure where it was coming from, and it just sort of stored it up. On inspection after we got the car here, we found out that the leak was coming from the hard line, where the standard rubber hose comes down and then connects to the hard line, and as soon as we touched the hard line, it literally just broke and fell away. So the underneath car fuel hard lines were absolutely shot. So we originally kept the stock rubber fuel lines that come from the fuel pump, and then we used one of these and then ran new 8mm internal diameter gates, sort of high pressure ethanol line from this end, and then ran it all underneath the car to the engine bay. But then we noticed when we've gone to turn the car just every so often to keep the battery going, it would leak from these connectors. We put proper sort of fuel clips on and made sure they were tight, but they were still leaking, which was a pain because obviously fuel line's not cheap. So what we've had to do then is rebuy new lengths of gates, high pressure ethanol fuel line, and then what we've done this time is run it straight from the fuel pump all the way down, and then obviously one into the fuel filter and then one into the return line. So we've got a nice continuous line all the way underneath. A bit of a pain, but I feel a lot safer knowing that it's just one line and we're not going to have any leakages. We have tested the line since and there's been no leaks, but we've just got to work our way around securing this underneath the car, which I'll get underneath the car in a minute and show you what we've done to the underneath, as in protecting it, and how we're going to go about securing these lines, and then explain out where we've run them. For anyone that doesn't know, the fuel lines come from under here and then go up through that gap. The original lines will be connected on that plastic clip, if you can see, and then they feed up into the fuel pump. So yeah, we've run, like I say, run all the lines, and then as you can see, it needs securing to the underneath and making shorter if needed. But yeah, we'll get underneath the car and I'll show you a bit better. Alright guys, so underneath the car, as you can see, the fuel lines have obviously train under, and then what we're going to use is sorry, excuse the noise, my dad's just turned up. He's borrowed the toy bar the other night to get home. I'll explain in another clip why. But yeah, back to the fuel lines. What we're going to use is the existing holes and marks to put a couple more in the chassis rail, and then using that riv nut tool that we did for the body panels, we put a riv nut in. And then this isn't the finished product, but what we're going to use is these style clips to hold the line, and then run a few all the way down, and then yeah, I'll show you the bodywork, because well, you can see some of it here, and underneath the tunnel we've tried to go all the way up there. I'll show you a better shot in a minute, but yeah, what we've done is as best as possible, this isn't a perfect restoration, but as best as possible, wire brush, wire wheel, all sorts of abrasive tools to get down to bare metal. Then use like a rust preventative trick, like a spray primer, zinc based, then black paint, and then underseal as well. So it's had a few layers of everything, and we're trying to do that everywhere under the car, as you can see. I'll try and get a better shot as well. But yeah guys, so the plan is it's the bottom of the car that still needs finishing off like this, so we're going to work on the bottom of the car doing that, and then try and get these lines shortened if needed and fully secured down the chassis rail. But yeah, I'll try and get a better shot as well of the underneath, and then we'll crack on with the tour maps. Right guys, so this is a bit of a better shot, but we've tried to do the same logic everywhere underneath the car, which has been like really time consuming, but hopefully will protect the car for at least a few more years to come. But yeah, same process all the way underneath the car. And then, as I mentioned earlier as well, we have had new sills put in, because the old ones were absolutely shot. I know the paint were more rattle can skills aren't the best, but if you watch the previous videos, then you know we're going to put side skirts over the top of this anyway. But also what we did, just another mention with the new sills once they're put in, obviously they've been primed and painted on the outside, and then we've tried to put underseal and a protectant on the lip on the inside as well to stop any moisture getting in. But then what we also did was, I'll just quickly show you, is took this trim piece out, and then I haven't got it to hand, but we've got sort of a wax oil pump with a thin line, put a load of underseal wax oil in there, put the pressure in, and then underneath here you've got obviously the small trim clip holes, fed all the wire all the way down this side and that side, and then sprayed a ton of wax oil underseal inside the sill as well, because when we took the old ones off to clear out ready for the new ones going in, it's literally just bare metal. There's no paint or protectant or anything in there, so hopefully again that will help the longevity of the car. But yeah guys, we'll set the camera up for the time lapse and crack on underneath. Right guys, just one last quick one. Obviously I mentioned give us a wave, Dad. Dad's here. Obviously took my toy car home the other day because he came with Mr. Jack Monsters, who's 350s here. They ran into some difficulties with all Japanese cars, undoing bolts and snapping bolts, or well, just everything really, with the norm of owning Japanese cars. But he's currently doing his lowering springs on his 350, but ran out of time the other day, so that's been sat on the drive as well. But he'll be back later to finish that off, so we might get some shots of that as well. But yeah, we're going to crack on with the 33 and set up a time lapse. So you join me about 24 hours later from the last video clip you probably would have seen. Yesterday was just an absolute write-off. Rain after rain after rain. So yeah, we had to literally have to set up. Did about half-hour work on the car. It wasn't going to stop, and it just kept coming. So yeah, we covered up the car and left it for today, and now I'm back under the car. But I don't know if you'll be able to tell, it's raining again. So I'll set up camp underneath the car, and then we're gonna try and do as much as possible today. I don't know if I'll get it all done. It's not raining at the moment, but it's just on and off really heavy again. So we're gonna crack on and see what we can do. I don't think I'll do a time lapse because I think every minute counts while it's dry to get as much done as possible. So I'm using just probably normal tools. So wire wheel on a drill. Probably not the most conventional, but screwdriver for difficult places to get sort of big chunks of surface rust off. Then you've got a variety of wire brushes, mask, goggles, and then the stuff I'm using to treat it. It's not the best. Well, people may say it's not the best stuff, but it seems to be doing the trick, and we'll see. As you can probably see, we've done all the underneath the boots. That kind of process, so like a rust treatment, a black rust preventative paint, and then an underseal on the top. So we've put a few layers on, so hopefully that will stop. We took it back as best as we could and then done that. So hopefully by covering it all up, it won't be exposed to anything, and it won't be a daily car either, and it will stay under the cover when not used. So hopefully it will help and give it many more years of driving. But yeah, we'll crack on. I'll probably look like a bit of a wally working under the car in the rain with my legs sticking out the car. I'm sure all the neighbours probably think I'm mental, but we'll crack on and then go from there. Yeah, I'll show you what I've done, and yeah, catch up with you in a minute, guys. Right guys, this is probably the end of the video now. It's been an hour since I last spoke to you guys, and I've just been trying to crack on with the underneath of the car. It's still dry at the moment, so I'll probably do a little bit more off camera, but you sort of get the gist. It's difficult to film and do a time lapse under here. There's not much space. But yeah, like I said, just wire wheels, wire brushes, and yeah, just do my best. It's not going to be a perfect or an expert job, but it's a million times better than what it was. So thanks for watching another video, guys. I'll catch up with you in another one. Hope you're still finding these enjoyable, and if you do, then please consider subscribing. But like I say, I'm going to probably crack on for another hour and then get in the house, because it's still rained on and off, and my jogging bottoms look like I've pissed myself. So I need to get in and get dry ready for when the kids get back from their grannies. But yeah, guys, hopefully you can see. Been a lot of work. There's still a little bit to do. I think down here in the middle of the car there's a bit more take off, and I still don't know what to do with this because it's absolutely battered. We've had to put a bit of JB weld in the back of the muffler because there's a bloody hole there. Then there was a hole there which put a little bit of JB weld in, and there's a bit
further up, so we might need to look at getting another new exhaust for the car as well. But yeah guys, thanks for watching again, see you in the next one.